Good morning, everyone. So, today we are going to learn the chapter first of class 3, that is living and non living. Okay, so in this chapter, we are going to learn about living and non living things and what are the characteristics that makes living thing lively and what are the characteristics that makes the living thing considered as a non living. Okay, so suppose I will start with the example. Suppose imagine yourself you are in a garden. So just look around and imagine or tell to yourself that what you see in the garden. Okay, so if I am in the garden, I will see there are some stones. Okay, there are grasses, there are swings. Okay, garden and park also. Okay, for kids it is very easy to imagine the park also. Okay, so what we see around is stones, grasses, swings, etc. Okay, flowers. Okay, I will write flowers also. So listen carefully. Stones, they cannot move on their own. Okay, and they do not grow on the size also. Okay, same with the swing wherever it is placed, it will stay at that place only. Okay, however the grasses and the flower, so one day you will see like there are flower, and maybe after 1 month you will go, there will be no flower on the plants. Okay, so grasses also you can just visualize that if you visit a garden today and you will come after 3-4 months, the grasses maybe are bigger in the size. Okay, or they may be dried out. So why? Because the grasses and the flower, these two are living things. Okay, living things are bound to change with the time. Okay, whereas the stone and swings, they are non-living, so they will stay as they are. Okay, so I will give you the definition of living thing, because in this chapter the teacher will always ask in the examination that what are the living things and what is the definition of the living things. Okay, so the definition is the things which are alive. Okay, the things which are alive. Okay, sorry, the spelling mistake is there. The things which are alive. Okay, alive means they have a life. Okay, so they are called living things. Okay, and the non-living thing, the name itself says that the things which are not alive, okay, or they do not have their life, they are called as non-living thing. Okay, okay, so I will give you another example also for living and non-living things. Suppose if there is a toy car, okay, and there is a cat. Okay, there is a dog and there is a stone. Okay, so now based on what I explained earlier, can you just identify which are the living thing and which are the non-living thing? Think about it. Okay, so I will tell you. See, car can also move. Okay, and cat can also move. So how you can differentiate that car is if both are moving, if car is a living thing or non-living thing? Because if you purchase a car, it will not grow in the size. Okay, it will remain as such after 10 years also, but the cat, it will increase in the size with the growing years. Okay, so this is living thing. Now there is stone and dog. Stone I already explained, so this is quite easier. The dog, which is growing in the size along with the time, is living thing. Okay, so I will mark living thing with the L symbol, and this is NL is for non-living thing. Okay, and stone is also non-living in nature. Okay, is that clear to you? So how you will in general find that this thing is living or this thing is non-living? So I'm going to tell you the main characteristic or the main things you have to notice to categorize the thing into living and non-living things. Okay, so the common thing you have to see in living beings, okay, is, okay, I will take, to explain you easier, I will take the example of cat. Okay, so first of all, the first thing, they move. Okay, the living things, they move. Okay, move means the cat, if you observe a cat, the cat will not stay at one place. 1 minute she is here and 1 minute she'll be on the another place, so they are moving. But if you are taking stone will stay there only unless you pick it and throw it somewhere. Okay, so the movement. The second thing is they breathe. Okay, so for living thing, it is necessary to breathe, so we all take oxygen, okay, to breathe. Then food. What does the living thing require to grow? It's food. We also eat food. Okay, plant also need water and fertilizer and nutrients. Okay, to grow. The cat also need to eat food. Okay, whereas stone cannot eat. The non-living thing, it cannot eat the food. Okay, grow. With the time, I already told you, the cat will grow. The stone will not grow in the size. Okay, so the living thing display growing. Feel. Okay. So if you throw a stone on a cat, the cat will run away. Okay. Why? Because it feels the pain, it feels the danger. However, if we cannot throw a cat on the stone, but for example, if you throw a cat on the stone will stay there only. Okay. So because cat is living, she can feel the pain and she will run away. Okay. The sixth point is they reproduce. Okay, the cat, after some time, it will reproduce to give birth to new kittens. Okay, so we have seen the kittens around us, but we do not see the stone multiplying. Okay, and they have lifespan. Lifespan means we all have to eventually die. So the cat, after living few years, it will die. Okay, but stone will there remain forever, maybe for 100 years, 200 years, we don't know. But the cat, it will live its life, or maybe 10, 15, 20 years, it will die. Okay, so these are the 7 things that we have to observe in the living things. Okay, so just to make it easier to remember, I will mark the first thing. Okay, so what we got? Move, breathe, food, grow, feel, reproduce, and lifespan. Okay, now to easily remember the characteristic of the living things, I will give you mnemonics that my best friend got first rank luckily. Okay, so what you can learn this common thing by this sentence: my best friend got first rank luckily. Okay, so the first letter of each word will tell you about the living thing. Okay, so from M you can learn that move. So living thing move. B. Breathe. Okay. F. Food. Living thing eat food or they required food. G. The living thing grow. F. Feel. R. Reproduce. Okay. And L. Lifespan. Okay. So you just have to remember, my best friend got first rank luckily, and this sentence will encompass the characteristic of the living things. Okay, you understood? Is that clear? Okay, so now we are going to learn the characteristics of living thing one by one. Okay, so first is move. Okay, movement, move or movement. Okay, so some living things, like for example animals, okay, they move from one place to another. Okay, now you will ask that plant are also a living being, but they cannot move. Yes, they cannot move because they have the root that will take the nutrition from the soil around them. Okay, so here there's some living animal, some living things like animal, they move from place to place. The plant will get its food from surrounding by roots, however animal cannot. They don't have root. Okay, so they have to move from place to place. Why? To search for food. Okay, water. So like we are human beings, but for animals, if for example the stray dog, so he will not get, you know, the food plate like us and the glass of water. So he has to search for the food, he has to search for the water, then he don't have to live home to live. So for shelter also, so where they will sleep. So you have seen like the stray dogs, sometimes they live under, you know, there is a shed, they will sleep there. Okay, so and they will move from there, and to protect them from enemies. Okay, so if you are pelting a stone on the stray dogs, or if there is some kind of danger to the stray dog, they will move to a safer place to protect themselves. Okay, so the animal will show movement for searching the food, water, shelter, and for protection. Okay, now this kind of movement is known as locomotion. Okay, what it is known as locomotion. So, sir, if the question is asked in the examination, what is locomotion? So, we have to write the movement. I will write for you so that you can note down the definition. The movement of animal in search of food, water, shelter, and protection is called locomotion. Got it? So this is called locomotion. Okay, so now I will give you some example. Okay, suppose we are human. We will take the example of human. We are human only. First of all, we will take the example of human. So what movement they will show? They will walk, jump. We can do skipping. So if there is danger also, we are doing running also. Okay, so this kind of movement we show. Okay, okay, let's take the example of kangaroos. So what they do? So kangaroos, they will hop. Okay, so they don't run, they will just jump from one place to another. Okay, now some living organisms, they are living in the sea also, like fish. Okay, so their fish cannot jump or skip, right? So what they are doing, what their movement is, they are doing the swimming. Okay, now it's not like that only animals need some show some movement. Okay, some plants also show movement. Okay, so movement does not mean that they can move from one place to another. You cannot see a plant running for the, you know, its food, shelter, something like this. Okay, But we all know sunflower, okay? It's a yellow color flower. And why it is named sunflower? Because the sunflower, it will turn its face towards sun because it likes sun, okay? And it needs sun for its proper growing. So because the flower is facing towards sun, the flower name is sunflower, okay? Now we also see some climber, like money plant is there, okay? Climber is, it will climb. So we often see that the money plant, this is the support, a stick is there and the plant will grow around that stick, okay? It will wrap around and it will grow, okay? So it will climb, but it will climb for what? It will climb for the sun and support. It can also grow in the without sun also, but it needs support, okay? So for that support it will show the movement, okay? So the movement of living things, I will make a easier chart for you so that you understand that if, okay, there is land, so what kind of movement we can observe? So in the land we can observe walk or run, okay? So you can see that we can walk, we can run, like the dog can also do the same, that cat can also do, okay? So hopping also, hop means jumping from one place to another. Swings means like monkey, they use their tails and limbs to move from one place to another, okay? Slide, okay? So some animals, they don't have legs, okay? They don't have limbs means hands and legs, okay? So what they will do, they will slide or they will crawl. For example, you have seen earthworm or snakes, okay, or snail also. So what they will do, either they will slide or they will crawl to show the movement, okay? So for the water, what kind of movement is observed by the living thing? It is swimming, okay? And the third type of movement shown by the living thing is in the air. So the birds, what they do, the birds will fly in the air. So this movement, I hope it is clear to you, okay? So now we'll come to breathe, B, okay? So all the living things, they breathe, okay? So we also breathe. So how you can learn we are breathing? That we just keep your hand on your chest, okay? And feel the movement. So what you are feeling? That your chest is going upward and then it will go downward. So this movement is because we are breathing. We are inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide, okay? We are inhaling oxygen and exhaling means we are pushing out the carbon dioxide. So what we are doing, this movement is due to breathing. So there are different ways by which we breathe, okay? So animals, what they will do, okay? So we also, the human also comes under animals, okay? We are social animals. So what we do, we breathe through our lungs, okay? So breathe through our lungs. So all the oxygen we inhale will go to lungs, okay? Fish, what they will do, the fish in the water, they will inhale the oxygen using gills, okay? So they have specific organs, gills, to breathe, okay? Now there are some other insects like cockroaches, cockroaches, grasshopper. So have you ever seen any grasshopper or cockroaches with the nose? No. Then how do they breathe? Okay, so they have some holes on their bodies. Okay, so cockroaches and grasshopper, they have holes in their body. Okay, these holes are known as spiracles. Okay, spiracles. These holes help them to breathe. Okay, now the plant. So do you see plant also? They breathing? Do they have nose? No. Do they have gills? No. Then how do they breathe? They have stomata. Okay, stomata. So by the stomata, it helps in plant breathing movement. Okay, plant breathing. Okay, is that clear to you? So now we will move on to another trait or characteristics of the living being, that it require food. Okay, so living things require food. So have you ever wondered that why we want food? Because yes, you are right, you are thinking in a great way, that we need to grow, and our food and water, it will provide all the necessary nutrients for our body to grow. Okay, it will give us energy also. So the food, it will give us energy. What it will give? It will give us energy. Okay, so I will keep it like this so that your attention will go on to this only. So food will give us energy to carry different life activities. So if you don't consume your food, you will become very lazy. Okay, now animals. First of all, we will talk about the animals. So animals, they will get their food directly or indirectly from plants. Okay, how? Directly means they will eat the plant itself. Example, the cow, it will eat the plant. Okay, and indirectly means like cow or sheep or goat, it will eat the plant, and it is, you know, healthy, it will gain some weight, and it will be alive, and that animal will be eaten by another animal, that is the lion. So directly or indirectly, the animals, they will get their food from plants. Okay, so I will write it here directly, like cow, deer, sheep, goat. Okay, so they will get the food directly from the plant, they will eat grass or their leaves, and indirectly, like these animals are eaten by other animals. Okay, like lion, tiger and bear. Okay, so animal will get directly or indirectly food from plant. Okay, now we will study about the plants. I already told you that plant cannot move from one place to another, so they make their own food. How? They use sunlight and air to make their food. Okay, so the green, why, have you ever wondered that plants, mostly plants are green in color? Why? Because it is because of chlorophyll, which is required to perform the function of photosynthesis. Okay, so photosynthesis is a process to make food for the plant. Okay, so they make their own food by using water. So what is available to them? Water, air and sunlight. Okay, you got this? So the third point, that living thing requires food also, we have covered this. Okay, so the next is living tree grows. Okay, so I will give you a very common example. So now you are in third class. Okay, so you are in third class. So first you are baby, okay, then you grow up, become a kid, okay, you studied in class first, then you studied in class second, and now you are in third class, okay, and later you will go to fourth class, then you will go to fifth class. So you realize that you grow here, from here to here you are growing, okay. When you are baby, you don't know how to walk, how to eat yourself, okay. So when you become a kid, you know how to eat, how to run, how to use your hands, okay. So this is how the living things grow. So you have never seen a stone growing. I'm repeating this again and again. If you have a teddy bear, suppose your mom purchased a teddy bear when you were a baby, but teddy bear is of still the same size, but you have grown, okay. Why? Because you are a baby. So all the things grow, living things, they will grow, okay. So the tadpole, it is a young one of the frog, it will become frog, okay. Caterpillar, it will become a butterfly. The baby of cat, that is kitten, it will grow and it will become a cat. The puppy will become a dog. Once it will grow, it will become a dog, okay. So they living things, they will grow, okay. And when they become old, after growing to certain extent and they become old, then after some time they will die also. So why they will die? Because their cell, it will reach their saturation, and then other things also need space, so they will die. And in the new process, meanwhile the new babies will born, then they will also transform into frogs and they will become old and die. So this is a cycle, kind of cycle, okay. The next is living things feel, okay. The fifth is living things feel, okay. So I will give you example. Do you feel cold? Yes, in the winter we feel cold. In the summer, how do you feel? We feel hot. Why? Because we have a sensation that is known as feeling, okay. So we can sense, we can feel, okay. So this makes a huge difference between living and non-living things, okay. So now it's not the human beings only or the cat or cow, they all can feel, but the plant also feel. How? There is a plant called touch me not, okay. If you touch that plant, it will close. That's why the name of the plant is touch me not. After some time, it will open again. When it will, because when you touch it, it feels some danger, so it will close. Okay. After some time, it will feel that now the danger is not there. It will open again. So that is why the name of the plant is touch me not, and this is because of the sensation, that is the feeling. Okay. Now the sixth point, that living thing reproduce, okay, reproduce. So this is also the question, what is reproduction? So all the new living thing, they will produce other living things, okay. So I will give you the definition so that kids can write in the examination. Living things producing, living thing producing other living beings, okay. Of their own kind. Own kind means, I will explain. Let me finish the definition. The living things producing other living beings. Living beings means they have a life of their own kind is called reproduction, okay. I will After writing this, I will repeat the definition again for you. When the living thing, they will produce the other living things, or in the simpler term, babies of their own kind, is called reproduction. So why I wrote here own kind means a cat will give rise to kitten only. It will not give rise to a baby of dog or a donkey. Okay, so cat will give rise to kitten, and this kitten will go to cat only. Okay, so the process by which cat give rise to kitten is known as reproduction, because it is producing, a single cat is producing 3 to 4 kittens, okay, of its own kind. So the process is called as reproduction. So have you ever wondered how the living things give reproduce? Okay, so female animals, so what they do, the female, they will either give rise to young one like cow, the cow, okay, either they will produce a calf, or like hen, it will give rise to, it will lay eggs. So those eggs will hatch and then the babies will come out. Okay, so females, the reproducibility ability is only to the females. Okay, and how the plant will reproduce? So plant will produce the, this is about the animals. So how the plant will reproduce? The plant will reproduce through stems, okay, roots or leaves. Okay, so how the animal reproduce? The animal, either they will give rise birth to young ones like cow, okay, dog, cat, or like hen, they will give rise to eggs. And plants, how they will reproduce? They will reproduce through their stems, roots and leaves. Okay, got it? Okay, so the last point about the living thing is that they have the lifespan. Okay, so living things, they will born, okay, then they will grow, okay, then they will reproduce, that is they will make babies, okay, then they will get old and then they will die. Okay, so this is a kind of cycle that every living thing has to undergo. So you have seen that, right? There are flowering plants, so they will grow, then after some time they will produce flowers, they will, sometime they will produce seeds also, and then they will die. And the animal also, they are born, then they will grow, like suppose a kitten is born, it will grow and it will become cat, and then it will give rise to new kittens, then it will, the cat will become eventually old and it will die. So this is a life cycle. Okay, so this process is known as life cycle. Okay, so I will give you the definition of the lifespan. So if somebody asks you what is lifespan, the time period for which a living being lives, okay, that is known as lifespan. Suppose a cat lives for 5 years, okay, then what we say that the lifespan of that cat is 5 years. Okay, and suppose if elephant live for 50 years, then what do we say? 50 to 70 years. Okay, then what do you say? We say that the lifespan of the elephant is these many years, 50 to 70 years. Okay, so last we have discussed all this thing about the living things. Now we will just quickly go through non-living things, because non-living things only display these traits that non-living things will not do. Okay, okay, now some of the things which we see around us, once they may have life. For example, the chair, the furniture, okay, the chair, table. So they are made of wood, okay. And from where we will get the wood? We will get it from the tree. And from where the tree will come? The tree will come from the plant. And from where the plant will come? It will come from the seeds, stems, or the roots, okay. So the chair and table, it's itself a non-living thing, okay. But when it has a life, that is, when it has the life, when it was a tree, then they are living things, okay. So some things that are now non-living, they were once alive, okay. This we have to remember, okay. So now you understand in this chapter that I will make a quick summary for you what we learned in this video, so that you remember all the things. A very quick recap, that whatever things we see around us, okay, so things can be living and they can be non-living, okay. Now living thing, they move, okay. So I will remember from my best friend, okay. So I will write, my best friend got first rank luckily, okay. So first is movement, second is breathe, third is food, fourth is grow, fifth is feel, sixth is reproduce, and the living thing, the last, they will have the lifespan, okay. Okay. So no, the non-living things, they are not alive, okay. They are not alive, that is, they don't have life and they don't show these characteristics, okay. They cannot move, breathe, grow, need food and water, okay. Neither they reproduce and neither they feel, okay. So this is all in this chapter. Thank you for watching the video.